I'm Scott Allen Miller. This is Tuesday, the 27th of April, 2021. This is Sheep Guarding Llama. Welcome to the show. I decided to sit out front under the roof. I've never done an episode sitting out here before, and I've been on my feet all day in my office because I only have a standing desk. So I figured what better time than now to sit outside and enjoy one of the last days I have here. A whole perspective I've never had before. So neat, right? Anyway, it's a bit windy. I'm hoping that the dead cat does its job. It's definitely a little bit of, not really a storm rolling in, but there's a little bit of rain. I think it drizzled just a little bit ago. So yeah, today we had a bit of an adventure. First of all, today's the day we were supposed to be out of the house, so keep all that in mind. We knew pretty early on that was not going to happen. Early on, meaning yesterday. There's no chance that we were actually going to get out of the house today, but packing is coming along really well. I mean, the house is pretty empty. A lot of loose things yet. I mean, we're certainly not ready to walk out the door, but we're doing pretty well. I did a little bit of pictures. I came out this morning to take some pictures, but the light was bad. Turned out there never was any sunlight today, which is a problem because we need to put a lot of stuff out to be thrown out, and it's going to block all the pictures in the front. So not exactly sure what the plan is going to be there. Yeah. But pretty early today, we discovered that, so first of all, someone's like, oh, the toilet's clogged. I'm like, oh, that's weird. It was flushing during the night, like, didn't think anything of it, but like the dogs had gotten up in the middle of the night and I had to clean some things. So I knew it was flushing in the middle of the night and no one had used it. And then I went in and checked it and like, I could not get it to flush. And I'm like, this is really suspicious. I can't remember a time that I've tried so hard to unclog a toilet. And then we discovered later that there was other toilets the other toilet was clogged. And then we discovered, and Liesel's like, well, I mean, there's water coming out of the shower. I'm sure someone made a mess from the shower. There's water on the floor. And we're like, no one took a shower. So we looked and the shower was full, and it turns out we're backed up somewhere under the street and everything in the house is flooding back from the street. Yay. After 11 years in this house. Sure, we've had plumbing issues like anyone, and with 5 people, probably more than most, but we ended up with, after 5 years, the most dramatic plumbing issue that we could possibly have on the day we're trying to move out. Seriously? Seriously. So Dominica spent a few hours, I would say, trying to get a hold of a plumber. Our normal plumber, not available at all, can't even call us back. It did eventually call back to say he couldn't call us back. But we had to call around. Everybody was booked. Finally found someone who's willing to come over and do it at higher rates off hours, and they're due here in about 15-20 minutes. So hopefully that will just be cleaned up. I mean, we're sure it's just a clog under the street. They do such a terrible job with the street, and it's old plumbing, so every so often it does get clogged. But holy cow, couldn't this have waited until like tomorrow? Actually, next week would have been better. Tomorrow would have been the same problem at this point. Also, so we got a quote on what it's going to take to move our stuff to Nicaragua. And I mean, I'm not surprised at all, and I'm not upset about the price of the quote, because what are you going to do? I mean, it's a shipping container. There's a whole bunch of packing that goes into it. You're paying for an awful lot of expertise and work and labor and insurance and everything. But I think when it's all said and done, we're looking somewhere in the vicinity of $18,000 to ship our stuff to Nicaragua, which explains why Nicaragua officially allows you to ship up to $20,000 of value into the country when you move, because you're paying the same amount to get it there. So there's no value in like, oh, we're gonna get around taxes by shipping stuff this way. No, it'd be way better to pay taxes, right? Like, there's no, the tax credits are just to offset the pain of having to do this. So we had to really, so Dominica and I stopped and spent some time thinking about, you can kind of see the trees here. It's windy, it really is. So we spent some time thinking about whether we really want all of our stuff for $18,000. I ran the math real quickly, and for $18,000, that's something like 14 years of the current storage unit that we could pay for and keep all of our stuff up here. And obviously over 14 years, a lot of that stuff will eventually go down in suitcases, stuff that we actually need. And a lot of the stuff we're only shipping only because we have a storage unit, or only because we're doing the shipment, not because we really, really want it. It's like, I'm bringing all my old desks. Of course I want them. I like my old desks. They're great desks. They were wonderful. They've been with me for forever. But am I gonna pay a lot to ship them down there? No, they're just desks, right? So, and we've got some old computers. Well, if the whole thing's going, of course we're taking the old computers. But if we're not, do we really want to ship them down? I've got some collectible items in there. We have some nostalgic things, but almost everything that's nostalgic, either we don't necessarily want to have in Nicaragua with us, or it's pretty small and we can easily bring down in luggage. So there's almost nothing that's like large. I think the most difficult things are the bins of toys, and those are almost entirely nostalgic. They're also things that if the girls want to see them and play with them, they can take them out of the storage unit when they're up visiting their cousins, play with them, and put them back. So, and then the real reason that we keep them mostly, I mean, some of them are like Liesel's My Little Ponies, Luciana's Calico Critters. They are personally very attached to those, and they're theirs. So they're keeping them because they want them or feel that they do. But beyond that, like the Playmobil, the Legos, mostly that's stuff that we're keeping because we want the grandkids to be able to play with it, not because we're going to be using it in Nicaragua anytime soon. So that's, we're pretty much already of the decision that we're going to keep the storage unit for a while, and every time somebody travels back and forth to Nicaragua, we're just going to pack up as much of our stuff that we actually care about as we can into suitcases. And it'll be real easy, right? We come north with empty suitcases and we fly south with full suitcases. Easy to do, and that will slowly get our stuff, whether it's toys or the biggest thing for Luciana is just bins and bins of stuffed animals, right? Definitely stuff that Nicaragua's not going to have a problem with us bringing in over time, right? And like the computers, we don't need to bring in the old computers. They're going to be old, you know, if we're, you know, if we get a one-time shipment and we get to bring them in for free, of course. But if it's only a $30 computer or whatever, is it worth the effort to fly? No, we can buy something there. We'll figure it out. So a lot of that stuff, we're just, you know, whatever, it's just not coming with us. So, and that'll give us over time the ability to go item by item and decide, is it something that needs to be kept because it's nostalgic, or is it something that needs to go to Nicaragua and we take with us as opportunity allows, or do we need to get rid of it? And hopefully pretty quickly of doing that, because it means that like the toolboxes and the TVs and some really big items like that are probably not gonna go down. Those things will immediately have to go somewhere, no big deal. And other things will be brought with us. So it won't take too long, I hope, for the storage unit to be able to get to something smaller. Right now we pay about $93 a month, which is hardly crippling, but it's a big space. If we work really hard at it and eventually get to move it, we can move it to a lower cost location and hopefully get it down to like $65 a month or something. If we could get in the 50 to 65 range, I feel like we get into the numbers where we'd be happy keeping it forever as a small cost to be able to keep stuff in the States when we need it, because we do need things in the States from time to time. It's not like we're not going to be here at least once a year. We are. And so taking a lot of that stuff and things that are like deep storage, like the kinds of things you would put into your attic, if we put those in Nicaragua, then we're just putting them into our attic in Nicaragua. We don't have super lots of space down there, and you know, we're going to be living at a hotel. What if we sell that hotel and move on to another place or anything? We're still looking at getting a storage unit or something down there to deal with the same kind of problems. Check out, see if we can see the plane coming over. They get really close over here. So logically, it doesn't seem like bringing for that amount of money. You know, we were hopeful. What if it was only 10,000? Probably would do it. What if it was 8,000? I'm sure we'd do it. But at $18,000, and the other thing we were told by some expats is that customs has a habit of making a bunch of your stuff disappear. And of course you can make insurance claims against that, but a large amount of the stuff that we're trying to bring down, we're bringing down for nostalgic reasons, and we would be really, really upset if it was to disappear because we tried to bring it down to Nicaragua. So that would be really bad, right? Because we could lose like I said to Dominica, we could lose $300 worth of stuff because someone said, ooh, this is a threat. And to us, it's gonna be like $250,000 of things that are lost because they're things that mattered to us, and it didn't matter to who took them, but they just saw it as a quick thing they could grab. And so it's not like we're shipping equipment down. It's not like a company decision. This is personal stuff, and the value of it can't be determined in an insurance adjustment kind of way. And so that makes it all the more dramatic that shipping all that stuff that we're only shipping for the purpose of keeping the memories and storing it down there is just, it doesn't seem to add up. So yeah, which is a lot of upside actually. That means this is all much simplified. When we get down there, we're done, we're moved. Right? We don't have to wait for stuff for a long time. If we're missing something, well, we just need to go buy it. And we have a budget of $18,000 that we didn't spend on shipping stuff that we can use to buy new things that make sense. So, you know, that goes a long way. And like, we're gonna ship down 5 TVs. That would be handy, but do we need 5 TVs? No, we need maybe 2, right? Paul watches TV all the time. He probably needs one. And we need one for the girls, I'm sure. But do I need one? We'll see. Right? And if I do, what do we need? 3? I doubt we need a ton. We'll see over time how things work out. The hotel does not have TVs. It's not that kind of place. I'm not expecting that kind of lifestyle. I mean, I certainly want a TV, right? Especially as we're going to be spending a lot of time making videos down there, doing social media stuff, doing YouTube things like this, right? And so because of that, obviously, we want to have a nice 4K large TV that we can watch things on, but that's just something we have to buy down there, and hopefully it's not going to be too expensive. We are sad because there is at Walmart right now a 75-inch 4K Sony Bravia for $748. That'd be so perfect. And if we could just buy it, put it in our shipping container, and have it down there, no brainer. But is it going to survive the voyage? Is it going to get stolen? Are they going to allow it in? There's just so many things to go wrong. That makes no sense. So we're not doing that. But can I get one down there for $750? I guarantee not. There's no way. Getting a nice Sony Bravia 4K TV is going to cost a fortune. So of course we're not going to do it, right? Those kinds of problems are real. But we'll figure those things out. But it really does make the whole move so much less stressful, so much more we're just done, here we are, take the stuff we need, and yeah, we're gonna be back at Christmas, and we can bring another big load of luggage down at Christmas, and that will leap us forward with the stuff that we have, and make us feel so much better about the storage unit. So that part's really good. Now onto the other good news. We don't know, we're hoping to hear this evening, but we do seem like we probably have people who are going to help with the flight to patriate our dogs to Nicaragua. We have to do a charter flight out of Miami, that much we know, and it's going to be extremely expensive, that much we know. There's no way we're going to find someone who's going to pay half. That's just a thing we have to accept. But it does seem like we have someone who is edging towards paying maybe even close to a third, just about a third of the overall cost, and that's huge. If we can eliminate the $18,000 of shipping our stuff down, and we can eliminate a third of the flight down, we are good to go. It is time to get on that plane and get out of here. And they will be pushing us forward pretty quickly because they need to go and get their dog. So we're waiting to hear more about that tonight, but it's looking really good. Also going on this evening, I'm expecting shortly, it's just after 6 now, I wanted to get this recorded because I was just so tired on my feet. Chris is going to stop by. Chris, that has not been on the show previously, and help me carry out the last of the furniture from the house, because we just have to get it out of the way, right? We got to get the couches out. That's the big thing. We got to get Liesel's old dresser. I think it's going to rain though, so I really wish we didn't have to put it out tonight. Maybe this will be a tomorrow thing, but he was planning on stopping by after work and getting those taken out of the house. And after that, it's just getting our stuff into luggage and getting it out of the way. So it's, yeah, we're really down to the final. So right now, just waiting for Chris to stop by, waiting for the plumber, and gonna keep packing and doing some work this evening. And realistically, we think we're gonna be getting onto the road on Friday if everything goes as planned. I think that is all the news for today. Nothing big happened at the hotel today, just the normal stuff. I will see everyone tomorrow.